If there's one thing Call of Duty did better than almost any other game, it wasn't the guns or the maps or the movement. It was creating paranoia. Every time you died, you had to ask yourself, was that guy just better than me? Or is he cheating? And TimTheTatman built an entire era of content sitting right on that line. Picture this. Tim dies in Warzone in the most suspicious way possible. Instant headshot through smoke. Laser tracking through walls. A flick that looks like it belongs in an aim trainer montage. Chat goes wild. Cheater. Report him. Spec that guy now. So Tim does what every good entertainer does. He leans in. He clicks spectate, he pulls his chair closer, and suddenly, the stream turns into a live investigation. Is this guy actually hacking? Is he on a VPN in bot lobbies? Or are we all just salty? Viewers love it. The numbers spike. There's something addictive about watching Tim slowly realize on stream that the random player who killed him is snapping to heads, pre-aiming corners they shouldn't know about, or walking straight toward people through walls like they have a sixth sense. Those games turn into videos. This hacker got banned in 30 seconds. I exposed a hacker using my skin. Titles pop. Thumbnails pop. Clips go viral on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. Tim's perfected the formula. Get knocked, spectate, react. Catch the cheater live, watch them get banned, punch the desk, laugh about it. But there's a flip side. At the same time, other creators are getting exposed for abusing VPNs to get easier lobbies, loading into regions with lower skill levels, or weaker player pools to farm content. Some drama channels start stitching Tim's reactions and voice lines into their own videos, calling out big names for bot lobbies and shady behavior. Suddenly, Tim's image in this space gets complicated. To a lot of viewers, he's the hero of the story, the guy who speaks for legit players, the one who sits through spectating cheaters so you don't have to, the dude calling out the state of Warzone in a way the devs won't. But to others, he's part of the problem. They say he's farming outrage, that he's feeding the cheating hysteria because it makes great content, that every hacked lobby, every exposed moment, every shocked reaction is just another way to keep the algorithm happy. Some even call him a clout chaser, lumping him in with titles like exposing streamers and proving he uses a VPN. It doesn't help that the cheating conversation in Warzone is already nuclear. People are sick of hackers, sick of dying to obvious scripts, sick of watching kill cams that look inhuman. So every video Tim makes about it adds more fuel to a fire that's already burning. But here's the thing, from his point of view, he's just showing what's actually happening in his lobbies. He's not writing the scripts for these hackers. He's pressing spectate and saying out loud what thousands of players feel every night. This game would be incredible if it wasn't for this. And that's why this controversy matters, because it sits right at the center of a bigger question. When a creator calls out cheaters and shady lobbies, are they protecting the community or are they turning frustration into content? For Tim, the answer might be both. He entertained millions by hunting down hackers on stream, but he also became a symbol of just how broken, chaotic, and drama-fueled Warzone's ecosystem really was. But while he was hunting cheaters in-game, a different kind of controversy was brewing behind the scenes in his own community. There's a very specific kind of rage only Twitch viewers understand. It's not when your favorite streamer dies. It's not when they miss your sub. It's when you type one message in chat and suddenly you're banned. No warning, no DM, just you are unable to chat. That's the core of one of TimTheTatman's quietest but most emotional controversies, his moderation. Let's set the scene. You're a regular in Tim's stream. You know the memes, you know the emotes. You've heard, hey, what's going on, guys? It's TimTheTatman more times than you can count. One day, you drop a message that to you seems harmless. Maybe a joke, maybe a bit of sarcasm, Maybe a slightly spicy comment during a bad game. Suddenly, your message disappears. You try to type again. Nothing. You refresh. And that's when you see it. You've been permanently banned. Now, for a lot of people, that's the end of the story. They close the stream, open Reddit, and write a post that sounds something like, "I got permanently banned from Tim's chat for saying something harmless." Has this happened to anyone else? And it turns out, yeah, it has. Every so often, threads pop up in his subreddit and elsewhere. Different usernames, same theme. I don't get it. I wasn't being hateful. I wasn't spamming. Why did I get hit with a permaban? From the outside, it looks brutal. Like the mods are trigger happy, like Tim's community is wrapped in bubble wrap, and you can't say anything even slightly off without getting nuked. But here's where the tension kicks in, because on the other side of that ban button, you've got a completely different reality. Tens of thousands of viewers, layered history, repeat offenders, people who seem normal at first, and then flip, slow burn trolls who know exactly how to skirt the rules. Mods see every message, not just the last one. They remember the warnings. They see the context. Chat doesn't. And Tim? He trusts them to protect the vibe of his stream so he can entertain without constantly policing behavior. Those two perspectives clash in public. Banned viewers post their side, "I just made a joke." Other fans reply, "There's probably more to the story." Some call him soft or overly sensitive. Others say, "Good. That's why his chat isn't a war zone." And then there's Tim's wild card move. The unban request streams. Every now and then, he pulls up the actual logs on stream and reads what people typed before they got banned. Sometimes it's genuinely ridiculous. Sometimes it's obviously nasty. Sometimes it's funnier than anything he could have scripted. Chat howls with laughter. He unbans a few. He doubles down on others. For viewers, it's content. For people sitting on a ban, it's hope or humiliation. So why does this little moderation drama matter? Because it shows the invisible power streamers have over their communities. A ban isn't just, "You can't type here." For some people, it's getting kicked out of a place they hang out in every day. And for creators like Tim, running a clean, brand-safe, chaos-controlled environment sometimes means people will feel unfairly punished. In the end, there's no big headline, no platform strike, no scandal document. Just a simple truth. To keep a massive community fun for millions, some people are going to get banned. And depending on which side of that ban you're on, TimTheTatman is either protecting his chat or hitting the hammer a little too hard. But the real turning point in Tim's career came not from what he said, but from what he didn't say. One day, people opened Twitter, scrolled their follows list, and noticed something that wasn't supposed to change. TimTheTatman wasn't following Dr. Disrespect anymore. No dramatic tweet, no public statement, just a missing blue name on a list. And in the world of streaming, that's enough to start a fire. To understand why this hits so hard, you have to remember who these two were together. For years, Tim and Doc were part of that elite circle of FPS content, Warzone tournaments, cross-stream banter, duos filled with trash talk and laughter. They weren't just colleagues, they were part of the same ecosystem. Nick Mercs, Doc, Tim, a whole generation of gaming kings. In the background, though, there was always one unresolved shadow. Dr. Disrespect's mysterious, permanent ban from Twitch. For a long time, nobody knew the full story. Twitch wouldn't talk. Doc denied wrongdoing. The community turned the whole thing into a conspiracy board. Then much later, new allegations and behind-the-scenes reports started surfacing, nothing officially confirmed by courts, but serious enough that a lot of people started rethinking their relationship with Doc. And that's where this gets interesting. Because after that new wave of stories, fans started noticing patterns. Tim wasn't showing up with Doc as often. Collabs slowed down. The energy that had once been so constant started to fade. Then comes the small but loud moment. Someone checks X, formerly Twitter, and realizes Tim no longer follows Doc. They post a screenshot. Reddit threads spin up. Shorts and TikToks appear. Tim drops Doc. Nickmercs and Tim distance themselves. Are the boys done? Nobody has a screenshot of a fight. Nobody has a DM leg. There's no official "I'm done with you" message. All people have is a follow button turned off. So the internet does what it always does. It fills in the blanks. Some say Tim is doing the responsible thing, creating distance from someone who might bring risk to his brand, his sponsors, his family. Others say he's abandoning a friend, folding under pressure, choosing corporate safety over loyalty. And Tim? He doesn't get on stream and deliver a dramatic monologue about it. There's no big "let me explain why I unfollowed Doc" segment. Just silence. Business as usual. Games, jokes, sponsors, family stories. The machine keeps moving. But underneath that, the fallout is real. For Doc's hardcore loyalists, Tim slides a notch down their respect ladder. For viewers who are uncomfortable with the allegations, he quietly earns points for caution. For everyone else, it becomes one more example of how fragile these creator friendships really are once legal risk and public pressure enter the chat. And that's why this moment mattered. Even without a single exposed DM, it wasn't a shouting match. It wasn't a public breakup. It was subtler than that. A tiny, trackable action that told the community something changed. In an industry where so much is built on collabs, duos, and shared brands, watching TimTheTatman slowly step back from Dr. Disrespect was like seeing a door close in slow motion. No slam, just a quiet click. And a million people wondering what really happened on the other side. But perhaps the biggest shift in how people viewed Tim came not from gaming drama, but from business moves. There's a moment in every big streamer's career where the chat stops asking, "What game are we playing today?" and starts asking, "How big was the bag?" For TimTheTatman, that moment hit when he stopped being just a Twitch guy and started jumping platforms, signing exclusivity deals, and getting his face put in games. Let's rewind. For years, Tim was one of the pillars of Twitch. Same purple site, same channel, same bald head, same laugh. People grew up with his stream in the background. But behind the scenes, something else was happening. Platforms were quietly turning creators into free agents. Mixer throws money at Ninja and Shroud. YouTube starts hunting for big names. Twitch is locking down exclusives. Suddenly, being live isn't just about viewers, it's about contracts. And then Tim makes his move. He announces that he's leaving Twitch and going exclusive with YouTube Gaming. The trailer drops, the announcement hits social media, and instantly the debate begins. On one side, you've got the celebration. He deserves it, secure the bag, bro got paid. W Tim, W YouTube, this is huge. On the other side, the suspicion creeps in. He doesn't care about Twitch anymore. This is just about money. He's clout chasing, hopping platforms because it's trendy. The same pattern shows up again and again. He signs a huge deal. He becomes part owner of Complexity. He gets a skin in Call of Duty. He partners with more sponsors. Every W he stacks publicly comes with an invisible asterisk for some people. Yeah, but is this for the community or just for the brand? It doesn't help that the internet loves simple stories. Tim isn't just a guy taking business opportunities. He's either a loyal OG or a sellout chasing the highest bidder. There's no middle ground in the quote retweet economy. When Soulja Boy fires off a clip calling him a clout chaser For riding Warzone hype, it sticks in people's heads, even if it's half joke, half salt. From Tim's perspective, the story probably looks very different. He's been streaming for over a decade. He's got a family. He's thinking about stability, not just Twitch chat approval. If a platform waves a life-changing contract in front of you, one that secures your future and lets you do the same thing you already do, turning it down would almost be irresponsible. But viewers don't see the contracts. They just see the optics. They see him walk away from Twitch. They see YouTube exclusivity. They see him eventually back on multiple platforms later. And in between those milestones, every collaboration, every ad read, every appearance in a new game or brand campaign gets run through the same filter. Is Tim just chasing whatever keeps him on top? That's what makes this controversy interesting. There's no exposed DM, no ban, no apology video. Just a deeper question about what happens when a creator stops being one of us grinding and becomes undeniably a business. In the end, Tim's numbers stayed huge. Brands still line up. Most fans don't care where the stream is, as long as he's live. But the clout-chasing narrative matters because it shows how tight the line is between smart career moves and being seen as another corporate face. And for someone who built his image as the relatable, everyman gamer, that perception shift might be the hardest boss fight of all. So what do these 4 controversies tell us about TimTheTatman? That even a streamer as beloved and long-tenured as Tim can find himself caught in multiple overlapping narratives about his authenticity, loyalty, and motivations. Whether it's exposing cheaters and getting accused of farming outrage, running a moderated chat that some feel is too strict, quietly distancing himself from controversial figures, or chasing business deals that feel like selling out. Tim has navigated a career where nearly every choice gets scrutinized. But through it all, he's remained relevant, successful, and active. The haters might say he's corporate and calculated. The fans might say he's just evolving and securing his future. The truth, as always, is probably somewhere in between. Tim's story reminds us that longevity in streaming doesn't mean avoiding controversy. It means learning how to weather it, adapt to it, and keep moving forward while some people will always question your motives. And that's it for today's video. What do you think about TimTheTatman's journey? Is he a savvy businessman protecting his brand? Or has he lost touch with what made him relatable? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I love hearing different takes. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share it with someone who'd find it interesting too. It really helps the channel grow, and it keeps me motivated to bring you even more wild stories like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.